Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike, and thanks for jumping on here with me this morning. Accountability. It's kind of a dirty word in this business, isn't it? Webster's dictionary defines accountability like this. Webster says it's an obligation or a willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. An obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's actions. I define it a little bit differently. I define it as observation without judgment. I'm not judging people. I'm trying hard not to judge people. I'm just observing. Is what you say and what you do they match up? And when they don't, I have an observation about that. But I don't have judgment. I mean, it's other people's lives. They can live their life any way they choose. They just don't try to get me to believe something that your actions say is not true. Whichever definition you like. Okay. But notice what neither said. Neither said accountability is the act of defending your actions despite your goals. All the excuses, right? But Mike, you don't understand. I had the sniffles yesterday. It doesn't say that. Or the process of getting people to believe something that is not true, but you desperately want other people to believe about you. Neither one of those are very good definitions of accountability, right? Okay, they're definitions of bullshit artist. That's what they're definitions of, but not accountability. Why is accountability so important? And it is. It is so important. Because I think the hardest thing about being a real estate agent is managing myself. The hardest thing about being a real estate agent is getting myself to be consistent in my business, getting myself to do things I don't necessarily feel like doing. But I know that they would be good for my business if I did them. I just don't want to do it. How do I get myself to do that? And I kind of reconcile that against one of the great truisms that I've heard in this business, which is this. Hey, successful agents simply do what other agents aren't willing to do. Yeah, I know. I believe that. I know that's true. So how do I get myself to do it? It's so incredibly important. It is the great separator in this industry, and it's so incredibly hard. I know. I'm right there with you on that. It's almost impossible to do all alone. We need help. And that's where a system of accountability kicks in and helps us, really helps. But I need a system of accountability. I need surrounding myself, not all alone. All alone I'm going to fail. But surrounding myself with people that help me hold myself to a higher level. Like, let me give you some examples real quick. Maybe some of you that have an exercise program, maybe you have a workout buddy at the gym. For you, those of you that do, have you ever found that the only reason you showed up to the gym that morning was because you had told your buddy that you were going to meet him there? And if you hadn't, there's no way you would have done it that morning. Me, absolutely. There's some days where, like, getting out of the car, walking into the gym, there's no way in hell I would be here this morning, except I told him I'd meet him here at this time, so I kind of have to. Yeah, that's accountability. It got me to do something that all alone, there's no way I would have done it. I have a great friend, Steve. Steve just makes me want to be better. Like, there's some part of me that's scared that Steve won't want to be friends with me anymore if I don't hold myself to a high enough level. That's accountability. Look, shouldn't I want to do that all on my own? Of course I should, but it really helps to have a friend that makes me want to strive to be better. My wife. and some of you, hey, I'll admit it, sometimes I do things that I don't want to do. Sometimes I get up in the morning when I don't want to get up. Sometimes I've just gone through fairly substantial weight loss this year. Why? Pretty much for my wife, right? I just didn't want her to be disappointed in me, right? That's an accountability partner. She makes me want to try harder. My friend Steve makes me want to try harder. My buddy at the gym makes me show up when I wouldn't have shown up. Some of my colleagues, some of you, make me want to try harder so that I don't let you down. And that's a system of accountability. Now, the opposite's true too. I got to remove the bullshit. So if you don't make me want to try harder, if I don't feel like I need to hold myself to a higher standard, I can't let you occupy any space in my head at all. And that gets really hard because some of these people just aren't like your colleagues. Some people are like your family or your really close friends, and they're not good for you. They're not, and you know it. They're not holding themselves and their life to the same high standard that you're trying to hold yourself to. And you know what happens in sports when great teams play bad teams? The bad team never plays up, ever. The great team plays down. And that's what happens to us in our lives and our careers too. When you allow other people that aren't good for you to occupy space in your head, they're not holding themselves to they don't make you want to aspire to be better. When you allow them to occupy space in your head, you're playing down to them. You're never going to pull them up. You're never going to pull them up. They're just every day trying to pull you back down to where they are so they feel more comfortable in their lives. Webster says accountability is an obligation or a willingness to accept responsibility or to account for my actions. If you want to get better, surround yourself with people that will hold you to a high level of accountability. And if you do, you'll be going out there and making it happen for yourself.